afternoon, traders. It's Bill Baruch with Blue Line Futures. And it's your daily midday market minute. We have NVDA earnings. Debt deal still out there. But before I get to it, if you're watching this on YouTube, please click the link below and subscribe. Like and subscribe. And if you're watching from our website, there's also a link below to direct you to YouTube, and you can subscribe that way. We'd love you to follow us. We'd love you to help us build our following. All right, let's get to it. Big beat by NVIDIA. They're up nearly 20%, trading about 360. So big move after hours. The NASDAQ, 13,800, coming off a low of the day, 13,566. That traded into two waves of major three-star support that we had today. That was obviously, in hindsight, the buying opportunity. We were playing this from the long side. There's a lot of support to look into that previous trend line peaks. And then the retracement that lined in there. So there's a lot of support into that. Then the S&P too, fairly constructive. It did briefly get down below 4120. Previous lows, it pinged that area, which we were really focused on the settlement price at that 4120 range rather than the previous lows intraday. But that 4111, 4112, it held that, and now we're moving higher, 4145 in the S&P. This was a little bit driven by positive comments from on the debt deal before the close. About an hour left, started to see the market gravitate higher, and from there, we're continuing to hear news, and I think it's starting to become more widespread that the June 1st deadline isn't very hard as a deadline. So we'll hear more developments with that. Something I pointed to in the Morning Express today. Check it out. And then I suggest check out the Morning Express from yesterday, talking about the path to 4,300. Now, the S&P clearly has a bit more work to do than the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is really enjoying this move from NVIDIA. But again, NVIDIA crushed earnings. You're seeing almost $7.2 billion in revenue. Again, 6.5 estimated. And then earnings per share at 109, and they're looking for 92. We'll hear the conference call later, and I'm sure we'll hear AI nonstop on that. But this is a strong close. We got some resistance levels though highlighted on the Morning Express, especially for the S&P. Just put that out there. It's yesterday's settlement price. We haven't even achieved that yet, so there'll be some good resistance up there. Was that 41.58 or so? But check out the S&P, check out the Morning Express. All the levels are there. Moving on to crude oil. Big day for crude oil, too. Big drawdown. What was that draw? It was about 13 million barrels, a surprise draw. 12.5 million barrel surprise draw, despite 1.6 million barrels from the SPR. This was a big move. I tweeted it out. This is a strong report. We got above that 73.80 resistance, got above that 74 buck mark, and the trade as high as 74.73, surrendered it, traded down to 73.50. That worried me. I got to say, that worried me, but we're battling higher here. Obviously, the OPEC Plus tailwinds from the ouchies yesterday, and we lead into the OPEC Plus meeting. So I like crude oil. I'm a little concerned about the reversal, but then it came right back. So we'll have to see how it plays out tomorrow. But as we head into the OPEC Plus meeting, I think they're going to try and buoy prices and continue to keep a bid under them. So at least maybe a buy the rumor, sell the news at minimum. So keep an eye on that. The refinery utilization was down, and the net imports were down huge. But this is such a big draw, especially when you can factor in gasoline inventories down another 2 million. Factoring all this in together, regardless of the refinery utilization being down a little bit, net imports down 8.7 million week to week. That's only a portion of this big. This is a big report. I think it could set the tone for a stronger move in crude oil. But just be careful here. Still a lot of resistance all the way up to 75 bucks. And then the metals, they continue to disappoint. And gold yesterday, a very strong move off the lows. Obviously some debt ceiling tailwinds. It left a big tail, but no follow through. Traded up to 1987.9, high on the day. So it did extend $10, but that was right on the intraday open, 7:20 Central Time, and then reversed sharply. And that's where we see new lows here, back down to the 1955 area, testing a low of 1960 right here into electronic close. Very disappointing. New lows in silver, new lows in copper, new lows in platinum. A lot of this, too, coming from China, the China demand, and we had a little bit of the light in the tunnel. That Chinese yuan, check out the traded or faded video that my partner, Oliver Slow, put out yesterday. Talk about the Chinese yuan. Chinese yuan was lower, or the USD CNH was lower. I mean, the US dollar weakened against the yuan early in the session, traded to 7.03, and then now it's back up to 705.5. So the dollar remained strong. Dollar index closing at the highs of the session. Euro down to the lows. So that is all weighing on the gold, precious metals, as well as the industrial metals, so the copper. You also have the yields rising too. Bond market just been a bloodbath over the last couple of weeks. So a lot going on. Our team is always here to help you. Don't hesitate to reach out. 312-278-0500. Remember, futures trading involves substantial risk of loss. It's not suitable for all investors.